joined now by the head coach and general manager of the Arizona Sundogs, Marco Pietranero. And Marco, first off, before we get to this season, we'll talk a little bit about last year. And the team was in the battle for the playoffs right till the very end. The last night of the regular season ends up coming up just short of the playoffs. You've had an off-season to think about it. How would you summarize last season?
I prefer not to talk about it, but I guess it was a fun race, you know, to get into the playoff. The disappointing factor was not to be able to make the playoff, and you know, we had 64 games to be able to do that, and we were not able to clinch before. But the race was exciting, and the fact that we didn't get in was disappointing. So you know, this summer we tried to prepare ourselves a little bit differently than what we've done in the past. And but as far as the race goes, the race itself was exciting and at the same time disappointing.
So after the season is over, you go into this summer, Marco, and what kind of approach did you take to this off-season in terms of your recruiting? Did you have specific goals or things that you wanted to accomplish in the off-season?
Oh, definitely. You know, with last year missing the playoff, you know, we want to go back to having a strong character team. So, I mean, that was the main focus. Obviously, we want good players, and I think we've accomplished that. But the main focus right now is to bring that character back. The first two seasons for us were fun, and I think the players left it all on the ice. So right now, at this time, you know, we feel very comfortable that. You know, our character is back in the dressing room. Guys are happy to be here. So that's what the summer, you know, brought to us, is to make sure that we didn't repeat the mistake of last year.
One of the big happenings of the offseason, Marco, as far as personnel goes, Dan LaPerriere, he was an assistant coach with you last year. He was a player from the beginning, big part of the championship, bringing the cup here. He moves on, taking an assistant coaching role at the AHL level. Talk about the impact that Lappy had on this team and how you go about replacing that.
Oh, it's tough to replace Lappy. You know, he was great for this organization, and very happy for him to be able to move on with his career. And you know, as a player, he was great. You know, obviously having his jersey in the rafters is just you know, I guess the fruition of his personality. You know, and not a lot of players get to have that, and he does that. He does have that, so he's been a great asset for this organization, and he stepped in as an assistant coach last season, did a great job, and now, you know, he has a different opportunity. So the goal is always to be able to move people from this organization, and that's a great move, and we're certainly excited for him.
And kind of along those same lines, you look at a guy taking the place of Dan LaPerriere, so to speak. Chris Bartoloni, captain of the team, another big figure as far as the Sundogs are concerned. And he steps in now to a player assistant coach role. So talk about his transition a little bit and how that's been for him so far, getting used to some new duties.
Well, I mean, for him, it's he's always been players first. So now the role is going to have to be, you know, separating himself a little bit from what's going on in the dressing room and do more of the duties, so that you know, his career is coming to an end. Obviously, he's in great shape, and he's able to play and continue what he does on the ice. But at the same time, he needs to prepare, and that's his opportunity right now to kind of transition from the playing side duties to the coaching side duties. So at this time, obviously, it's not easy for him. It's certainly a tough transition as far as all the work that he has to do. But he's transitioning very well, and at the same time, he keeps the flavor of playing. So he's happy about that.
One of the big off-season signings, of course, when you talk about your approach and bringing in some new guys, go out and get a player who Sundogs fans know pretty well from before. Conrad Reeder, he's a guy who had haunted this team a little bit, did a lot of his damage against this club, but also he's a great player, phenomenal talent, and a guy that you quickly went out and got this season. Talk about the process of bringing him in here and what kind of player you get in Conrad Reeder.
I think he's going to bring a lot. You know, we've had the chance to play against him for 3 seasons now, so we know what he can do. And the main factor of bringing him here is that, you know, he stops scoring goals against us and starts scoring for us. So that's the key for us. You know, we want to have exciting players, and I think he's, you know, one of the most exciting players in the league. So it's going to be fun to see him, you know, entertain our fans instead of taunting our fans, so which we know he did very well. So I think it'll be a good positive thing to have him on our side and be the icon that he is. I think he's a tremendous individual. You know, he's going to fit very well in the team. He fits well in the community. So on ice, off ice, he's a perfect fit so far. And I just can't wait for him to score the first couple goals and have the fans, you know, chanting his name. And so I think he's going to be that type of guy. You know, he's along the lines of you know, the Bartolonis and the LaPerriere, and so we're excited to have him and look forward to be able to coach him and see what he can do.
And on a closing note, Marco, we've talked about some of the changes, a lot of things that have happened, personnel, player-wise. You approach this season now, is there an underlying theme or a mentality going into this season? What can fans expect from the 2009-10 Arizona Sundogs?
Well, I think it's to go back to the character that we've had the first two seasons. You know, we've had success early on because of that, and not to say that we didn't have a whole lot of character last year, but I don't think it was the same focus as the first 2 years, and certainly don't want to take anything away from any players that played here. But our first two seasons, I think our players left it on the ice, and our fans appreciated that, where last year I left the rink myself and I saw our fans leaving the rink a little bit puzzled and questioning if we have left it all on the ice, and on many occasions, you know, the answer was no. So you know, we have a say where that here that character is everything, and we want to go back to that, and it's pretty simple. And I think that's how we've have been able to have success. So we want to bring that that character, the emotion that we used to have needs to come back. We have new guys this season, not a whole lot of returning guys, and so far I've enjoyed watching the newcomers wanting to be here and fighting for a spot to be part of the Arizona Sundogs.
All right, Marco, well, we certainly appreciate the time. Thank you very much. Stick around, stay with us. Coming up after this commercial, we're going to take a look at some Sundogs heroics off the ice rather than on. It's our Sundogs in the Community feature coming up next.